Let's follow an action potential and the changes that occur when it reaches an effector, in this case, skeletal muscle. So an action potential has traveled down the axon. It's reached the axon terminal. We have acetylcholine in these vesicles here, the neurotransmitter. Calcium enters the axon terminal. And when that happens, that causes acetylcholine to be released from these vesicles and travel across the synaptic cleft. A cleft is a space. It binds to a receptor. So a channel opens. Sodium flows into the cell, potassium flows out, depolarizing the cell, causing the propagation of the axon potential further. It will propagate down what's called the T tubules. This is an extension of the sarcolemma, sarco referring to muscle, lemma membrane, the muscle membrane. And its action potential will propagate down the T tubules, and that will cause a release of calcium. And in another video, I show you what happens when calcium binds to troponin and how that leads to muscle contraction and the sliding of the filaments. Now let's take a look at the notes. Action potential traveling down an axon reaches the axon terminal. Calcium flows in. Acetylcholine is released from the vesicles, travels across the synaptic cleft, binds to receptors. Channel opens. Sodium flows into the cell, potassium flows out. This further propagates the action potential down the T tubules, which is an extension from the cell, the sarcolemma from that membrane. And then calcium is released from the terminal cisternae of the T tubules. Let's see if we can do it without the notes. Are you ready? Action potential travels down the axon, reaching the axon terminal. Calcium flows in. Acetylcholine is released from the vesicles, travels across the synaptic cleft, binds to the receptor. Channels open. Sodium flows in, potassium flows out, further propagating the action potential down the T tubules, which is an extension from the sarcolemma, causing a release of calcium, which will then bind to troponin. And I explained that part of it in another video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good one.